Hello good people, welcome to Keep Left, your all car guide to all things cars and all things automotive. As always, my name is Kev, the host who knows most about cars, and happy new year guys. Welcome to 2023, and boy oh boy, don't I have some good reviews for you. So make sure you subscribe, and for the new viewers, welcome home. This is the show that deals with DIY and car reviews. So make sure you ring the bell icon to get notifications for new shows, and make sure you subscribe. Thank you so much. Now without further ado, the car review today is none other than the 2015 Nissan Note DIGS. This is the Nissan Note 2015, which denotes the second generation of the Nissan Note. And to be honest, the Nissan Note is a very young brand, considering that the first generation of the Nissan Notes started in 2004, and this, the second generation, picked it up from 2012 up to 2019, depending on the markets. There are other markets that the second generation of the Nissan Note is still being produced up to 2020. The third generation takes it up from 2020 up to date. So if you look at this car, to be honest, it's a looker. It's a car that looks so well. I like the fact that they incorporate the headlights into the center grille. This is very nice. This sort of a chrome finish is very nice, and the trade-off between white and the chrome brings out a sort of very nice finish to this car. There are subtle cues that you can take note about the car. For example, it has side blinkers on the side, which is very nice, and these are LED, so they illuminate very well. This car happens to be the sport package, so without you cannot go without noticing the side skirts, which bring out the car very well. Also, if you look at the rims of this car, they are also chrome plated. So this sort of a chrome plating finish is very nice because it doesn't this sort of dirt, for example, we just wipe off. And one thing that I like about this car again is, if you look closely, it comes with coil overs and adjustable ones for that sense. So this car, you can adjust the height of this car very easily. Nissans are quite an enigma. And why do I say that? Most people tend to stay away from Nissans, and the people who've owned Nissans for generations after generations can't help but keep them around. Because the thing is, Nissan have had a history that is very shaky, especially if you consider the Carlos Ghosn era, which started from 1999 up to 2017, which means this particular model of the Nissan Note falls within that generation of the Carlos Ghosn. Who is Carlos Ghosn? Carlos Ghosn is basically one of the most gangster CEOs that Nissan has ever had. This guy was able to amalgamate Nissan, Renault, and Mitsubishi. In fact, if I'm not wrong, Chrysler were almost joining the party. But the gist of all this is that Carlos Ghosn was brought into Nissan to streamline the whole operation in Nissan. He is known as the cost-cutting CEO. He was able to make sure that Nissan are able to make money. So it's quite of a shaky history in terms of Nissan's history, because when you know one thing about cost-cutting is you end up having things that are lacking in quality. And if you look at this era of Nissans, there were some subtle cues that can tell you, hey, what is this that you are putting in this car? Well, there are some plasticky bits that were incorporated into the cars that could have been done better. So in a nutshell, those are some of the reasons why people will consider Nissans to be quite something that it's a keep off, keep on sort of a relationship with them. But in my opinion, they're not bad cars. They happen to be the sort of like the cheapest bunch in terms of the segment that they are in. But this particular model of the Nissan Note spares no cost. So this particular model of the Nissan Note employs a 1.2 liter engine. In fact, they have several 1.2 liter engines. They have a wide array of engines. For example, there's a 1.2 liter engine, and all of them are inline 3, meaning they have 3 cylinders, as opposed to most cars having 4s. But somehow these small cars are coming to adopt the 3-cylinder direction in terms of engine and combustion. So now they have a 1.2 liter engine, which is denoted by the HR12DE. That is just the standard. It has no turbochargers or anything. They have a further 1.2 liter engine, which has a supercharger like this one, which is on review today. So that one is denoted by an engine code of HR12DDR. The R is what denotes the supercharger, and if it were to have a turbocharger, there are variants that have a turbocharger. That particular one will be denoted by an engine code of HR12DDT. So that one means it has a turbo. They have a further 1.6 liter engine, which is HR16, which denotes the 1.6 liter engine, DE. Finally, when it comes to petrol engines, they have a further 1.2 liter engine, which is the HR12DE, but a hybrid one, which employs an electric motor. So this one is HR12DE e-power. That is as far as engines go. And if you want to know the denotation of your engine, if you come close on the chassis plate of this car, you see this one, just to confirm what I was telling you, this is the HR12DDR, which means it has a supercharger. And just to confirm that, if you can, let me try if I can show you. This is an induction pipe. If you can see, this is an induction pipe, and it goes all the way down. What you have in front, at the front here, it's quite the space is quite little, but I hope you can see there's an intercooler there, which is to help to bring in cool air into the engine intake. So this car is able to achieve something that is called a Miller cycle. More about the Miller cycle, watch my video on the review of the Mazda Demio, and there's a link that will be coming up on this video just about now. And back to that, basically in a nutshell, the Miller cycle is able to achieve the two ends of the spectrum, to give you power and also to give you economy. This car, quite importantly, is able to have a very high compression ratio of 13 to 1, which is very good, just like the Mazda Demio. There is a final 1.5 liter diesel engine, which they are not so common, especially in Japan. Those are variants that were predominantly sold in the UK, but they are also able to give you a lot of economy. In fact, they are very common in UK because they are able to avoid the emissions and emissions taxes in the UK because of the pure drive and all that. In terms of gearboxes, this car has 3 variants of gearboxes. This has the Xtronic CVT. Nissan are very adamant about their CVTs. I don't know why. Maybe they work for them. The other one is a 5-speed manual gearbox. And finally, a single-speed e-powered for the hybrid models of this car. So it's as simple as that. The interior of the Nissan Note has a very dark interior. This is dark on dark, but they're able to break this with this sort of pattern that is on the seats, and the stitching is very nice and very visible. This is a deliberate action. In terms of the space, this car has space. Remember, it's a small car. It has a lot of space. I like this sort of, like, is it a satin finish or this sort of a black trim that is there in the center console. It's nice. It pops out in reference to the gray and almost a darkish gray that is on the dashboard. This dashboard is plastic. These are some of the things that I was telling you about the Carlos Ghosn era. And the car has some steering wheel controls. Aside from that, it is very simple. The gearbox, if you can see, is quite well illuminated and well placed. I like the positioning of the cup holders and also the gear lever. This is a good position as compared to some of the other cars in this generation, like the Mazda Demio, where the gear is on this position. Something unique that I've realized about this car is if you come close to the handles, these handles for opening the car, they are quite unique. Look at them. They are not your everyday levers, which is nice. I like the fact that they've been chrome plated to stick out. This is nice. It breaks the monotony of the dark interior of this car. At the back, well, before I even go to the back, I like the space. So if you consider, if I was to move this seat Let me just, there is space, and just deliberately, I'm going to leave this seat at the most final position in terms of it going at the back. So this is there for the largest driver that can drive this car. So I want to leave this here so that we can see how much space is left at the back if you are to have a very large person driving this car. Now, the thing about the Nissan Note, and especially this generation, in terms of small cars, the Nissan Note is the biggest in terms of interior cabin space, because if you consider this seat is at the most the final position in terms of its setting, and still you see the amount of space. This, what I'm talking about, is the cabin space. Now where it falls short is in the boot space. So follow me. The boot of the Nissan Note is not the largest, and when I say that, I'll compare this with the Honda Fit, and I'll just pop in so that you see the space. And probably if you haven't watched my video on the Honda Fit, you can do that. There'll be a link on this video. So let me just pop in. See, it's quite smaller than what you'd have on a Honda Fit. That's the takeaway from this car. But this is it's something that has been done to ensure that where people sit, there is enough space. Some of the things that you will notice in this car that are out of the normal: this car comes with a lane assist and a collision warning, which is quite unique because most cars in this particular category of cars, the small cars, will not have this much. The other buttons are for your clock and your menu, just to access. If you come into the center console, remember this car is push to start, so I'll just step on the brake and then press on that. If you notice, look at how well the gauge cluster illuminates. It takes on a sort of a mixture between the analog and the digital, with the center portion of it being a digital one. The fact that it has a small displacement, 1.2 liters, and complemented by a supercharger, it means this car gets there. And when I say it gets there, it actually does get there. I'll try and do a run just around here and see how well that is. Oh, wow, it does get there. In terms of drawbacks, I'm surprised with Nissan, by the way. I was expecting a plasticky cheap car, but this is nice, especially this variant, the DIGS, the supercharged version. It's very nice. It's good. But in terms of drawbacks, the only thing that I've noted about this car is standard, it comes very low, so you have to probably change the suspension. The other thing is the boot is small considering the other competitors in this category of cars, and this would be the Demio, the Honda Fit, the VW Polo. When I consider that in terms of size and the size of this car, the cabin is very big, but the boot is small. Those are the only drawbacks that I can think about. This car moves, and moves so well, considering it's a 1.2 liter engine. It gets you there. In this particular color, I love this car. It comes with other various colors, but in my opinion, the white is very nice because it is able to accentuate so many things, especially the headlights. And this car comes with the xenon headlights, so you're able to get all that. And the fact that they're able to get this sort of a finish, this chroming finish, it just gives you that sort of luxury sort of finish. So in conclusion, thank you so much for watching this video. If at this point you haven't subscribed, it takes you only 1 second to do that. So head on to the subscribe button and subscribe. Ring on the bell icon for more notifications of future videos. And as that, until next time, it is peace.